Hello to you all. This one is different, and I hope that it was clicked on either because it's meant for you or because you know it's for you. It's been sitting on me since last week Friday. I had a dream, and it took me some time to work through this dream, figuring out whether it was for me or for a collective. And I've taken my time leaning into my discernment to figure this out, because my channel is still a baby and I'm protective as a result. But as I've moved through, I initially wrote the dream down. I've received downloads. It interrupts me during my shower. And we're now sitting at Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're sitting almost 7 days in, and it's still sitting on me. And so I must share it. The dream I wrote down. How I'm going to do this is I'm going to share the dream, and I'll share the downloads, and I'll take it from there. But I don't believe it will be long. Anyone who's listening will know if it's for them. There was a network of artists. Now, the word artist should be taken just as that. However, you define what an artist is. I was one of them in the dream. We went in for the network, and by these words I mean these artists were aware that they belonged to a certain category, only to realize they had this way of dealing with each other like as though they had a master, someone they pretended to all agree with, relied on for survival and relevance somehow. Next thing in the dream, this person, this master, made it clear that they are the boss and that they wanted to stay as the boss. When it came down to the wire, I saw one of them at the door of a vault being a safe, big door, thick, one of those once you're in and the door is closed. Once the vault is closed from the outside, it cannot be opened from the inside. So once you're in, you can't get out. That person that was on the outside of the vault, I've got the master with one of the artists struggling physically to get the other in. So they're in a struggle. They're in a struggle to get the other in. So the master wants the one in, and because they're in a struggle, the other one also wants the master in. While they're struggling, another one of the artists sees them. And something I want to add is that in this opening of the dream, these artists, they're moving around with their art. So it's like an open area, it's outdoors, and everyone is holding their framed art. With pride, actually. Everyone is holding their framed art. So like, whether it's a painting, whatever it is, it's framed and they're holding it 2 hands, moving things around. While they're struggling, another artist sees them. So I think in total we have about 5. We have about 5 people. While they're struggling, someone else sees them, another artist, then another one, the 4th one, and I see them. And without saying anything, it's like there's an unspoken agreement. We all dash towards them to try and help the one who's struggling to force the master into the vault. I think by now you understand why I struggle to share this. Somehow there's a slip in the struggle. You know, when you're in a struggle and you realize, no bad language, when you realize you might be losing the struggle and you dash for it. So we all run into the opposite direction, in a different direction. And we're being chased. We get chased to get put into the vault. And it literally becomes survival of the fittest. As in, every man for himself. And I didn't write this, but God for us all. Everyone ends up running in their own direction. And what happens to me, it's as if everyone runs, but what happens to me is I don't know where everyone else went. But I start swimming up into the air. This is a dream I used to have frequently, the one where I'm flying. It's my flying dream. It's breaststroke into the air. It's like breaststroke, and I'm able to look back and see what's happening, but I'm wading through the air as if it's water. And something I remembered today was that actually I was very scared that I was going to get caught, because I woke up shortly after, but I swam in the direction of a big tree. That was like, it was in my way, but that was my direction. I don't know where everyone else ended up, but then I woke up. This dream, it bothered me a lot because it was difficult to tell why I was in the dream. But I've managed to figure out that it affects others too. And not just that, we're referring to artists. And so these are, and I want to say these artists that had their work, and again, you wouldn't have listened this far, I hope, if this is not for you, but these artists are proud of their work. These are good works of art. These are good works of art. And so this is art that someone has already worked very hard on, put a lot of their heart into, and they're very proud of it. All of them. And at this point, I want to add, because now I'm going to my downloads from the 2 days after this, and I wrote here, I'm going to say that I avoided this one, but it keeps coming up. So last night, my mind returned to it, and I heard them tell them. So I said to Spirit, okay, tomorrow morning then, but just tell me again so that I know I'm clear of mind. And I heard, okay, then. Almost in a sarcastic voice, and like they'll show me in a way I can't deny. And I went on to deny this for another 3 or 4 days. That same night, as I was drifting, I started to wonder which spirit guide this might be. Because the information and the energy the dream left me with it had a whistleblower energy, and I'm not a fan of that. I'm just not a fan of that. But it's haunting. And there was also definitely a sense, and I've written here that it's framed art, each artist holding their own. So not in a gallery as such, but ownership of the art is emphasized. Then in my mind, I saw a small purple board floating, and something like a dart hit in the middle gently, something like an intuitive bullseye. And then in the coming days, I also got, there's a fine line between support and affiliation, and that this works in swings and roundabouts. if I just Google what swings and roundabouts means for clarity, it says, used to say that two choices or situations are basically the same because they have an equal number of advantages and disadvantages. So that's to say, there are swings and roundabouts when it comes to support and affiliation. And so, to the chaser, I have: take yourself back to where you started. Return to your purpose. Remember the source. Remember the purpose. Know that that will support you. In all shifts, you are supported when in alignment. To the chaste, courage to trust your sight and the word you receive directly from source, and the faith to know that all abundance is of source. And to all, to support anyone is to be friendly. Emphasis on friendly. To aid another is to be friendly, but it is also to assume that source alone cannot complete its desired task, that it requires intervention, that source needs support, when all source asks of you is faith in yourself and source. And so, let us support each other with reckless abandon, out of generosity, but let us not mistake generosity as being a required aspect of a manifestation fulfilled. As I closed the recording, the timestamp was on 16/24/24, and immediately what I saw was the 1, the 6, and then the 24 and the 24 adding up to 6 and 6, being 1, 6 and 6 and 6. And this reminded me of something I read it in the comments on the channel, that the purpose of the devil, given that the devil too lives under God and serves God, the purpose of the devil is to assist us in fetching lost parts of ourselves. And so with all of this confusion, this number still tells me that it doesn't matter how strong we feel the devil is or how strong the devil appears to be, but that 1 in the front is the leader, the one, the oneness, the togetherness, and that we all are in this together for one common purpose. And when I Google the numerological meaning of 6, it says to take care of loved ones, and that 6s are excessively protective of their close group and always ready to be strong. And this is a reminder that we are stronger together.